NCERT class 7, chapter number 1, nutrition in plant. Previous class, we learned that there is different modes of nutrition and also synthesis of different components, isn't it, children? Now, in today's class, we will learn about saprotrophs. Means other than the heterotrophic nutrition, we also have one more type of a nutrition that is called what? Saprotrophic nutrition. Before there is learning about it, first let us understand what is meant by saprotrophs. You know, children, saprotrophs are nothing but these are kind of organisms. They derive nutrients from the dead and decayed matter. Understanding, children? The organisms which derive their nutrients from the dead and decayed matter is called saprotrophs. And the mode of a nutrition in which the organisms take nutrients from the dead and decayed matter is called saprotrophic nutrition. Understand, children? Saprotrophs means the organisms, they are going to take their necessary nutrients from where? From the dead and decayed matter. Isn't it? Those are called what, children, here? Saprotrophs. For example, have you seen, children, mushrooms in the market? Isn't it available? No, like vegetables, even mushrooms are also selling, isn't it? That is, they are, how means they are like a fluffy umbrella like structures, isn't it? These are what? Edible one. And these mushrooms can be can be seen more during the rainy season. Means they show their growth more in wet condition. Understanding? And also they can grow even on the rotten wood also. Means these mushrooms are nothing but what here? Saprotrophs. Means they take nutrients from the dead and decayed matter. Understand, children? Then similarly, one more, children. Have you heard about fungi? Isn't it? Have you seen, children, that is black colored patches on the bread? If a freshly brought bread kept in a plastic cover without opening for 3 to 4 days, means what happens? How it looks when we see next 3 days after? A black colored patches can be absorbed in the absorbed on the bread slices. These black colored patches are nothing but what, children, here? Fungi. What, children? Fungi. These are also what? A kind of organisms which show saprotrophic nutrition. Here, upon that bread, whatever the black colored patches we are finding, no, those are called fungi. Here, fungi is going to take necessary nutrients from the bread. So, children, the organisms which take nutrients from the dead and decayed matter are called saprotrophs. And even these fungus can be absorbed in the food items, especially in the pickles, children. Isn't it? In our language, we call it as a buju. Isn't it? Curry, buju. Food items, upon that, they usually start growing. Isn't it? And similarly, on leather and even on the clothes also, if the clothes are wet, means the fungus can fall, isn't it? And bring many diseases. Okay, it means that they are growing on these materials. And usually what happens means in the air, fungal spores will be present. When they land on, understanding, children, when they land on what? Wet or warm things, they start germinating. Means what it is happening? They start, these kind of organisms, they show germination when they land. When they land on warmth or wet things here. Understand clearly about saprotrophs? Means these are not preparing their own food, but they will utilize their necessary nutrients from the dead and decayed matter. And along with saprotrophic nutrition and certain organisms, they show a relationship called symbiosis. What is that? Symbiosis. It actually a Greek term, children. Symbo means living. Symbo means with. Bios means living. The organisms live togetherly or called what here? Symbiosis. For example, in plants, the fungus are growing along with what here? Plant. Here, the fungus is providing what? Necessary nutrients, minerals, water to the plant body, and in return, the plant synthesized food will be there, no? It will be used by the fungus. Understanding, children? Symbiosis means they share both here, isn't it? They share both shelter and nutrients. Isn't it? What is example? Fungus growth on certain roots of the plant. Here, fungus are going to take help of the plant, and in turn, plants are going to take the help from the fungus. And one more, that is what? Lichens. Isn't it, children? Here also, that is organisms like chlorophyll containing algae will be present along with what? Fungus. Here, the algae gives, that is, they'll synthesize its food and it gives food to the fungus. Whereas the fungus, what it will do? It will gives minerals, nutrients for the algae. Isn't it? That is what? Algae and fungus. Means both the organisms are benefited here. Such a relationship is called what here? Symbiosis. The organisms which are sharing both nutrients and shelter are called symbiosis. Example, lichens. Here, two different kinds of organisms are living, algae and also fungus. Algae, what it will use? It gives food to fungus, whereas fungus, what it will give to algae? It will give, that is what? Nutrients and the minerals. Means both the group of organisms are benefited. This mode of nutrition is called what here? Symbiotic nutrition. And the organisms which show this kind of what? That is the existence or called symbiosis. Understand, children? Is it clearly saprotrophs and a symbiosis concept? Saprotroph means obtaining nutrients from dead and decayed matter, and the mode of nutrition is called saprotrophic nutrition. Example, mushrooms, fungus, bread mold we can give here. Then symbiosis means both the group of organisms are going to benefit it. That is, they'll share both shelter and nutrients. Example, lichens. Isn't it? Now we will learn how nutrients are replenished in the soil. You know, children, after continuous usage of the nutrients from the soil, the soil might lack with the essential nutrients. So what happens? The plants cannot grow properly, isn't it? So what we have to do? We have to supplement what? We have to add nutrients to the soil so that easily the next plants can grow in that place. So what replenish means here? Restoring. Restore. What we are going to restore here? Nutrients are going to be restored in the form of what? Manures and fertilizer. In the form of manures and fertilizer, we are going to add nutrients to the soil. Have you seen, children, farmers are spreading manures and fertilizers to the fields and gardens, isn't it? Why they'll do so? In order to, that is, supplement the soil with essential nutrients. If the plants continuously using the nutrients which are available in the soil, means what happens? It might lead, that is, declining of the nutrients may takes place. So in those places the plants cannot grow healthily. So the farmer is adding nutrients in the form of manures and fertilizers. Fertilizers means here these are chemical substances which are rich with particular nutrient. Then manure means organic substances. These are also rich with humus, isn't it? These two will be added to the soil. Thus, what happens? The nutrients in the soil can be increased, isn't it? It can lead to increasing of the fertility of the soil. Isn't it, children? It may lead to increase of the fertility of the soil. Then even what happens means, if the soil is lacking with the nutrients, means in those areas the plants cannot grow properly. So to overcome that problem, the farmer usually add what? Manure and fertilizers to the fields, and they are rich with particular nutrients. For example, nutrients like there is fertilizers like what? Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. These are what? Specific nutrients will be present in what? Fertilizers. If the soil is lacked with the nitrogen, isn't it? Then fertilizer, nitrogen rich can be used over there here. Understand, children? This is what? The benefits of a manure and a fertilizers. And even what happens means, the crop plants, usually the crop plants need more amount of what? Nutrients. So what happens? The amount of nutrients in the soil can reduce. So then at that time, with the help of manures and fertilizers, we can enrich the soil with proper nutrients. And also we can grow by what? Leguminous plants over there. Leguminous plants means here green grams, peas, isn't it? These are all pulses. We call it as what here? There is leguminous plants here. There is peas, grams. These are all called what here? Leguminous plants. Here, why we are growing particularly leguminous plants means they contain there is what? Bacteria. What is that? Rhizobium bacteria will be present. Rhizobium bacteria. This rhizobium bacteria is present in the root nodules of the plant. Leguminous plants roots, the leguminous, that is rhizobium bacteria will be present. So what happens? This bacteria want food. The food will be taken from the leguminous plant which is needed by it, and in turn this rhizobium, it is giving what? Nitrogen. You might ask, in the air only sufficient there is nitrogen is there, why the soil want, that is why the plant again want nitrogen. You know, children, plants can absorb only soluble nitrogen, isn't it? So the rhizobium bacteria, what it will do? It will convert the nitrogenous substance which is present in the air, means gaseous nitrogen will be converted into soluble nitrogen with the help of a rhizobium bacteria. Understand? Here the rhizobium bacteria, what it will do? It is taking food from the leguminous plants, and in turn this that is the plant, leguminous plants are giving what? Food to the bacteria, and the rhizobium is giving there is minerals, nutrients, water to the leguminous plants, and also particularly nutrient like nitrogen, that is rhizobium gives nutrient like nitrogen to the leguminous plants. So thereby the leguminous plants can grow healthily, isn't it, children? And it means that they also show what? Symbiotic nature, means both are benefited here, isn't it? Leguminous plants, what they want? Nitrogen nutrient they want, whereas rhizobium bacteria want food, isn't it? So the bacteria is providing the bacteria is providing a nutrient to the plant, whereas the plant is giving food to the rhizobium bacteria. It means that both are symbiotic in nature. Understand, children? Very, very important things we learned, isn't it? So far we learned that only autotrophs are preparing their food. But you know, children, other than the autotrophs, heterotrophs also going to get food directly or indirectly from the plant or plant eating animals here, isn't it? So what are the modes of nutrition we learned? Autotrophic nutrition we learned, heterotrophic nutrition, isn't it? Then saprotrophic and symbiotic mode of nutrition.